lot of shit here. All right, like let's get into this Ten Commandment adherence thing and why I pretty much only advocated adhering to the things mentioned in the Torah. On top of that, I advocate if you made promises to God that you keep them, and I also advocate that you obey everything that God tells you to do. Like, if you feel like you're communicating with God and God tells you to do something, do it. Because that is just as valid as the Ten Commandments. See what I'm saying? Like, if God, like, I don't know. I guess the question is always, like, are you talking to God? Like, but if you're talking to the Creator, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Like, I'm just some putz, Gare or whatever. And, like, Gare, it's like a Jewish convert. But let's think for a second. Like, if your concept of getting to heaven is predicated on forgiveness, but then you get to heaven and you're already not in the habit of adhering to the commandments, like, are you going to obey what God tells you to do? Because if you disobey him, you get kicked out of heaven. Like, if you disobey him really severely, you go to hell. And God sent you to earth where, like, the basic tenets of what you're supposed to do is expressed in a relatively easy to read book. And it includes the Ten Commandments, which are absolute rules. Like, there's no getting around the Ten Commandments. Like, I mean, so, like, to get to heaven again, you have to adhere to the commandments and atone for the 603 other laws that you might violate along the way mentioned in the Torah. Right? But y'all are, like, you didn't know Jesus. Jesus didn't know you. So, like, how was his human, like, he wasn't a human sacrifice. He was a murder victim by the Roman army. Like, y'all gonna predate on Jesus in the same way the Roman army did? No. That doesn't fly, does it? Like, you can use whatever argument you can against the Ten Commandments, but it will always be the 10 words God wrote himself. Or, I'm sorry, 10 Commandments. It will be the words that God wrote himself. The 10 Commandments are the words that God wrote in stone. After Moses did. It says in the book, Moses transcribed the 10 Commandments and then destroyed them when his people were being idolic. And then God made him carve out some more stones, and then he went to the mountain, and then there was a storm, and then God wrote the 10 Commandments in lightning. I'm abbreviating here, but that's pretty much what happened. And he wrote the exact same thing that Moshe wrote. So, like, if y'all are expecting forgiveness and you get to heaven and then you don't do what God tells you to do, like, this sounds stupid, but I remember why I got sent to earth from heaven. Like, I was born to an earthly mother. I was born to an earthly father, as far as I know. And I got kicked out because I was in heaven. I was all amped about serving God and stuff. And, like, I began looking for the devil to behead him. And God kept on, I think God reminded me 3 times before I ended up back on earth. Like, God reminded me that evil isn't a singular thing. Like, if you look at the 10 Commandments, like, like one action may involve violating multiple commandments, but most of the time the commandments are violated individually. So that my dumbass, like the last time I lived, I was like 3 years old when I died. Horrible death too. I mean, it was atrocious. I was a little Jewish kid, and I'm pretty sure I got eaten by vampires the last time I lived. I'm not trying to be vulgar, but like I was a little 3-year-old kid, and like I got eaten by vampires, probably around these parts, like the Kansas City metro area. But God let me go to heaven, and I tried to obey Him, but my perception at that time, because of my very brief stint on Earth last time, I'm making excuses. I was wrong. I know I was wrong. I apologize to God. I beg God's mercy and forgiveness. But I couldn't get my head wrapped around. Oh, the other thing He told me was not to look ahead in my life. He said, do not look ahead in your life. And like I was in heaven, I was looking ahead in this life because I was just foolish. I made a mistake, but that's why I'm on Earth. God sent me down here on a mission to help as many people as I could with whatever time I was given, and to learn the lesson that evil isn't singular and to not look ahead. Or not look ahead, in my body or whatever. So I got kicked out. And now I'm on Earth. I try to adhere to the commandments as best I can, and I have an unbelievably hard time trying to maintain the other 603 laws, but I know what I need to talk to a rabbi about to, atone. Like, I spend most of my time in prayer. I'm celibate. I'm on year 9. But this isn't like a confession or a repensatory of my errors. I believe the Hebrew way is the correct way. Like the Torah has all the answers I need. I'm not even technically a reformist. I mean, a lot of my rote behaviors and taught behaviors came from a Protestant background or even a reformist Jewish background. But in my heart, like I want to serve God and adhere to what He tells us to do in the Torah. Because you got to keep in mind, Moshe received every last bit of that message, and Aaron received every last bit of that message from God. Remember that. So, my only goal is to adhere to the commandments, and this sounds crazy. Like, in my perception, the Book of Revelation of John and Patmos is his sage vision, his sage vision of the end times, which is a Jewish concept. Like, you'll see that in the Tanakh, you'll see that in the Torah, if you look for it. I won't even cite passages, I just know it's in there. Because I've read them. My memory isn't the greatest, but I know it's in there. But Revelation 15:1. Got to keep in mind, John of Patmos was Jewish. He might have been a follower of the Rabbi Jesus, but at the time, it wasn't an Orthodox religion. It was just a bunch of Hebrews that appreciated the way Jesus, the Rabbi, preached, and you'll find that in y'all's New Testament. You will find the word that Jesus was a rabbi, referred to as a rabbi. The rabbis perceived him as wise. The sages perceived him as wise in his younger days. But just, I don't know. think about it. The rest of this message is about Revelation 15:1. Like it. Found out. Revelation 15:1. Oh, I'll look it up. This is a rough estimation what it says. This is a New World Translation. I have these because I have a doctorate in theology. I look at these things. I've suffered many brain traumas over the years. But let's go to Revelation 15:1. See what it says. Revelation 15:1, or Revelation 15, begins with the words, and I saw, and this is the words of John of Patmos translated into English. It says, and I saw in heaven another sign, great and wonderful, 7 angels with 7 plagues. These are the last ones, because by means of them the anger of God is brought to a finish. I think in the KJV it says the final wrath of God. So it's coming. And here's how you know the plagues are real. They will simultaneously infect the violators of the commandments. Simultaneously. Like all over the world. And it's not going to be some like sickness that's already existed on the earth as far as I know. My best estimate is that it's going to be a new kind of sickness that has never existed before, that nobody's been sick from. The 4th plague, I don't know anything about the first 3 plagues, and I don't know anything about the last 3 plagues. But I know the 4th plague, in my best estimate, is going to be a zombie plague. And they're going to be Jim Thorpe fast. Like, I had a dream or a premonition where I think I saw and I heard an angel. It was between sleep and being awake. And I saw this angel. And, like, beautiful wings. You know what I'm saying? Like, both sides. Like, and they said, or the angel said, that they're going to be Jim Thorpe. Like, Jim Thorpe fast. Jim Thorpe ran an 11.72 in the 100-meter or 100-yard dash. 11.72. Like, in heels, like, you know, the heel dress shoes. Like, he ran 11.72 in heeled running shoes, like heeled dress shoes, like what today would be considered dress loafers. Like, he ran the 100-meter dash in those. So I expect him, like the 4th plague, the plagues will be simultaneous and worldwide, in my best estimation. Like, I perceive these as accurate predictions. I'm not attempting to perpetuate lies. I'm just saying. Worldwide infection that has never existed before. The 1st, 2nd, and 3rd will probably be some sort of sickness. Large parts of the population are going to be wiped out, and only what God perceives as innocent will be immune. Everything else will be infected by it. And the immunity will be moral. Like, those commandment-adhering people, like, will be immune. And everybody else is going to, you know, get sick. They might not die, but they're going to get infected. I actually think it might be 100% infection, and only the innocent will be immune. So 3 plagues, and I believe the 4th one will be zombies. I believe within the next 5 years we will see the first 3 plagues and then the 4th plague. They're coming. Be aware. And they're going to be Jim Thorpe fast, and they're probably going to retain, like, those that died from the first 3 plagues are probably going to revive when the zombie thing kicks in. And that's God's final wrath. I don't know what the last three are gonna be, but I have a feeling they're gonna get worse, 1 to 7. So, like, it's gonna be 3 sicknesses that wipe out a large part of the population that are, biblical plagues, like end times plagues, like Revelation 15:1, and they're gonna be things that we've never seen before on Earth. They're gonna be things that only God can do. You know? And I advise you to stay strong, adhere to the commandments, build your bodies, build your endurance, run sprints, prepare. Do weapons training, Like, guns won't get you very far. Like, guns will only get you as far as you can carry or get ammo. Logically, I don't know. Sword training, baseball bats, pipes, like, serious. You'll know when it happens. They're going to be everywhere. And those that die from the first 3 plagues are probably going to be revived by the zombie plague. They're going to be everywhere. I don't even know what the last 3 plagues are going to be, but it's going to be worse than a zombie plague, as far as I'm guessing. So, adhere to the commandments, get in good shape. Gain a couple pounds, like, get in good shape. Good shape, I'm not talking like aesthetically pleasing shape. Get into functional shape. Like, do some CrossFit exercises, like, just exercise, run. Like, and put an extra couple pounds on, because there are going to be days where food and water aren't available and you need to survive on what you have on your body, because that's what a zombie apocalypse is like. And that's only part of the apocalypse. I'm not even a horror movie fan. Like, I've had reoccurring nightmares my entire life about zombies, and they're always the same. Like, it doesn't matter where I am in the dream. Like I always see things too. Like, back then, the stuff was in the future, and now it's in the past. But the stuff happened, and I would see, and the dream would continue past the things that happened, and I would always, like, every single scenario, every dream I had was a zombie dream. I don't know. I know a lot of you out there have zombie dreams. You're looking at me like, how does he know I'm having zombie dreams? I know. I know that. I know that about 70 to 80% of the world's population has had dreams about zombies. Not because what you see. I mean, most people, I'm talking 70%, men, women, and children, have had zombie dreams. Like, a lot of people don't know they're having premonition dreams. Like, it's one of the most common dreams to have. And y'all are all like, some of y'all are like, well, Inception tells us that our subconscious is being attacked by the other factors that we have in our subconscious that are attacking our true self. No. These are premonitions of what's going to happen on this planet. There are going to be zombies everywhere. It's not even a joke. They're going to be everywhere. 100% of the those that have displeased God are going to be infected. Like, if y'all are banking on last minute repentance, atonement, now's that time. Like, I'm pretty sure in the next 4 years. Because let me explain why. In the logic of my dreams. Like, in my dreams, like, ever since I was about, I don't know, 2-3 years old, maybe as young as a year old, there's always this damn staircase that shows up in my dream. It's really fucking ominous. It's like it's an actual staircase, and you will not, like, right after this staircase shows up, like, it, you know, in the dream it's like a blink of an eye. There's the staircase, and then one day I'm stepping out from, like, walking down the staircase, and I step outside, and, like, there's zombies fucking everywhere. I mean, and, like, it always starts with, like, the dream gets to the staircase, and it's been a recurring dream. Like, maybe different events happen, but the only consistent things that happened were things that occurred in my life from my current perspective. Like, for memory's sake, the dreams were premonitive, something. You know, they were predictive. But now I'm looking at it like it's history, and, like, one of the only things I remember happening after I see this goddamn staircase that I'm at right now is zombies. Like, they're gonna be fucking everywhere. And, like, the weird thing is the staircase thing happens, and then, like, one day I wake up and I stretch and I get dressed, and this happens in the dream. I stretch and I get dressed, I walk down the fucking staircase, go outside, and then guess what the fuck I see? I see fucking zombies everywhere. It doesn't matter where I go in the dream either. Like, I go down the staircase and I go out. I mean, I can travel cross country, like, places I've been all over the fucking world. It doesn't matter where I end up in the damn dream. There are zombies after the fucking staircase. And, like, it happens in such a short window of time. Like the zombie thing's directly tied to the staircase. You know, I've had premonitions about where I lived. I don't know if that, you know, was, like, God leading me to that point or whatever, but, like, what we're fixing to face is some fucking unbelievable, like, religiously it's freaking cool, but, like, in reality, it's, like, scary. You know, they're gonna be zombies. They're gonna be fucking everywhere. And, like, if you want to know what kind of zombies, I'm not talking like voodoo zombies like I did in the previous videos, or, like, you know, vampire training regiment zombies. I'm, like, in other videos on my page, like, if you guys have looked at them, I'm talking like Black Summer zombies. If y'all see, it's on Netflix. Just look up the preview for Black Summer. And the type of zombies that are in that movie. They run fast as Jim fucking Thorpe. They have dexterity to climb fences and open doors. Like, but past that, they just grab and eat us. Like, y'all need to prepare. And the only way to take these freaking zombies out is to hit them in the fucking head. And take the head out. Like, if you got time, I would stake them in the heart too. But, like, they were vampires or demons or some shit. But they're gonna be fucking everywhere. Like, it's simultaneous worldwide turn. It's not gonna be like virology where, like, you know, where there's, like, a gestation period and all this shit. It's gonna be like you're gonna wake up one day, probably within the next half decade. Today's 1/10/20 or 1/10/2020. In the next half decade, we're going to wake up and there's going to be zombies everywhere. The dead are going to revive. Like, it's going to be horrifying. It's going to be one of the scariest fucking things that has happened in human history. Be prepared. My advice is to, like, get you a go bag. You know, get you some protein shakes, and dried goods. You never know how long the water is going to last, so, like, keep some hydration, you know? Like, you don't know how long the water, the electricity, or the gas, you know, for your vehicles are going to last. Like, the scenario is it's, like, scary as fuck. Like, just check it out. Like, Oh man. But it's coming, and there's less than 5 years left, and it's all like I'm doing is preaching John and Patmos's message about Revelation 15:1. Like it's coming. There ain't no place where we can hide. They're gonna be fucking everywhere, and the way we know it's God is it's gonna appear all over the world at the same time. Like God is literally going to destroy all the evil pieces of shit. So my advice is adhere to the commandments, do some workouts, gain some pounds, get buff, do what you need to do. And like the only immunity is going to be moral immunity. I just know this. Like if you're a good person, that's the whole purpose of the apocalypse is to weed out what God perceives as pieces of shit. Be aware. I'll see you guys later. So, have a good day. Bye-bye. Oh, and God bless you. If you're innocent, God bless you. If you're not,